In Underhanded, the new novel by Jim Billman, Sonny Kristoff shares his adventures during the changing times after World War II with a refreshing inside-out look at history. Written from the perspective of men's fast-pitch softball, this was the time when baseball's little brother became America's most popular team sport. But unlike baseball, its imperfect dimensions brought about its demise. Order Underhanded on Amazon. Underhanded by longtime Southeast Iowa native Jim Billman. Available now.
And here's your host, Steve Shedler.
Hey, thanks for tuning in this morning. It's the morning wake up here on Steve Shetler Media, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. It's a Friday. We're into March. You can officially flip the calendar as March 1st on a Friday here in Iowa. Hey, we do thank Home Plate Sports Cards for bringing us our morning wake up here on Steve Shetler Media. Find Home Plate Sports Cards at 1516 A Avenue East, Oskaloosa. Call 641-676-1516. See Eddie at Home Plate Sports Cards Wednesday through Friday, 5:30 to 8:30 p.m., Saturday noon to 6, Sunday noon to 4. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like Home Plate Sports Cards in Oskaloosa. They bring us our morning wake up here on Steve Shetler Media. Garden Gate in Sigourney brings us the weather. Find the Garden Gate at 105 South Jefferson in Sigourney, 641-622-3191. Also, Cindy is there Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturdays, 9 to noon. Of course, they've got spring merchandise. They've got fresh floral arrangements. They've got jewelry, home decor, sympathy gifts, something for everybody at Garden Gate in Sigourney. And what a weekend weather we have. Partly sunny skies for today. A high of 53. South winds blowing in that warmer air, gusting up to about 20 miles per hour. Clear skies tonight, low of 34. Tomorrow, sunny, still breezy, but warmer, a high of 66. Clear tomorrow night, breezy, a low of 51. Sunday, breezy, but sunny and warm, a high of 77 degrees. Our current conditions here in southeast Iowa has humidity at just 52%. Winds are south at about 10 miles per hour. The barometer at 30.05 and currently 33 degrees here in southeast Iowa. Again, our forecast brought to us by the Garden Gate in Sigourney. Coming up later on today at noon-ish, we will release our question of the day. It's brought to us by Amy's Salon House and Spa, located at 202 North Main in Sigourney. You can call or text for an appointment, 641-622-3772. For hair services, spa services, extensions, products, and tanning, and more, see Amy and the gals at Amy's Salon House and Spa. Of course, they just had their open house yesterday. They were celebrating their 18th anniversary all month long in February, so now we're flipping the calendar into March. Your question for today is, do you make your bed every day? Do you? Do you really? Do you make your bed every day? That is your question of the day. Again, we'll put that up on the Facebook side of things today, right around noon. Get your answers in then. All right, coming up later on today, it's a Friday. That means we have our Iowa Music Showcase live and in person at Barnwired in Sigourney. And there you see Scott Kirkhart going to be coming to town. He's coming to us all the way from right around the Fort Dodge area. So he's making quite the trip to hang out with us today at Barnwired in Sigourney from 11:30 to noon. We'll get a live interview and live original songs from Scott Kirkhart. He is an Iowa country musician. So stop in, get some lunch, get some coffee, do some shopping, whatever you want to do. Just hang out with us today at Barnwired in person or watch the Iowa Music Showcase live here on Steve Shetler Media, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. It's Scott Kirkhart. He is our Iowa Music Showcase. I know, I just saw that he's got a gig then later on tonight down in Eldon. So hanging out in Sigourney during the midday, going to Eldon for a gig tonight. So follow Scott Kirkhart as he travels through southeast Iowa. Mentioned earlier this week, we won't be having a sports section. It's kind of one of those in-between weeks where there's not a whole lot happening sports-wise. So we're going to take this week off for the sports section. So you can tune in next Saturday morning at 8 a.m. from Brothers Market for the sports section. Now, one thing I've been busy with this week is the new racing show going to be doing. And there's the info for that as Tuesday Night Tune-Up. Little TNT. It's dynamite. Live streaming video, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, at Smoky Row in Oskaloosa. We're going to be there Tuesday nights during the spring and summer racing season, every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. It's hosted by my pal, Safe Grafke, and he's going to be talking to local and area drivers. It's going to be a fun show. If you like the local racing scene or just the area racing scene, you're going to want to tune in on Tuesday nights. That's another thing that you can stop in person and check out the broadcast live at Smoky Row in Oskaloosa, or you can watch it live here on Steve Shetler Media on all those different outlets. So Tuesday Night Tune-Up. If you like local racing, the racing scene here in southeast Iowa, and the whole state of Iowa, check that out. Again, we're going to be streaming it live. We'll be doing it in person at Smoky Row on Tuesday nights. Let's see here. Do want to once again remind you, we did a video on this yesterday. Savage Sips. Savage Sips is open to the public today, this morning, here in just a few minutes. From 7:30 to 9:30 a.m., they are celebrating their one-year anniversary. That's at the Sigourney High School. So go support the Savage Sips and the high schoolers that run the coffee shop at the Sigourney High School. Again, they're opening it up to the public. They don't. They're usually just serving students and faculty. But it is open to the public to celebrate their one-year anniversary. So check them out on their socials, on TikTok and Instagram, and go there in person. Get yourself something to drink this morning at Savage Sips. Also coming up tomorrow here in Sigourney, the bowling event for the Sigourney Music Boosters. That's at Keokuk County Bowl in Sigourney. Tomorrow from 1 to 3, $10 per person. That gets you a couple hours of bowling. And you can contact Allison Weber or Becky Shaw to purchase your tickets in advance. And then something coming up next weekend will be the Sigourney Fire Rescue EMS Soup and Sandwich Luncheon. That's next Sunday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Sigourney Fire Department. They've got a variety of soups there and grilled cheese sandwich. All you can eat. That's dangerous. I can eat a lot. And that's for a free will donation to help out our Sigourney Fire Department. So check that out. Put that on your calendar for next week. All right, we're doing the morning wake up here on Steve Shetler Media. Let's do some good mornings as we've got Dan, we've got Nancy, Sherry, Eloise, Tracy, looking moony out there. We've also got Dale, Dan, and Rebecca tuning in this morning, and Mary. also just chiming in. Thanks for tuning in on a Friday. Let's go ahead and do some birthdays. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Let me get a drink. All right, birthdays for today. Let's see. The elder statesman on our celebrity birthdays for today is singer Jerry Fisher from Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Jerry is 82. He is the old person on our celebrity birthdays today. Singer and sometimes actor Roger Daltrey from The Who. Who? Roger Daltrey. The Who? Roger Daltrey. Who? Turning 80 years old today. And also actor Dirk Benedict from, the likes of Battlestar Galactica and the A-Team, turning 79. We've got Daisy Duke from the Dukes of Hazzard, Catherine Bach, turning 70 years old today. Happy birthday to Catherine. We've got Janice Gill from the Sweethearts of the Rodeo, 70 years old. Ron Howard from Happy Days, and Andy Griffith, the redheaded Ron Howard. Now he doesn't have any hair. He's bald. And still, directs, produces movies. 70 years old today. Director Zack Snyder from the DC universe, last I knew, turning 58 years old. We've got actor Javier Bardem from No Country for Old Men, 55. Basketball player Chris Webber, one of the Fab Five for Michigan way back when, turning 51 years old. Actor Mark Paul Gosselaar. Does that name ring a bell? I believe he was Zach in Saved by the Bell, and then also kind of came back with NYPD Blue. Mark Paul Gosselaar turning 50 years old today. Actress Lupita Nyong'o from, I think she was in some of the Star Wars movies, also 12 Years a Slave, 41 years old. Singer Kesha turns 37, and the Biebs. Justin Bieber turning 30 years old. Probably our biggest celebrity on the list today is Shannon Kindred from Kyoto. I think she's like 21. Shannon, a big supporter of Steve Shetler Media and the Kindred family on Kyoto basketball. So happy birthday, Shannon. Hope you have a great day. On this date in history, it was today back in 1790, Congress authorized the first census. It made a whole lot of census. On this date in 1872, Congress authorized the creation of Yellowstone National Park. It was also on this date, March 1st in 1913, that the federal income tax took effect. Boo, boo, hiss. It was today in 1941. The first FM radio station went on the air on this date in 1941. Also on this date, 1961, Mattel introduced Barbie's boyfriend, Ken. Now they make movies and make billions of dollars about Barbies. And then the very first Kmart on this date opened up in 1962. Are there any Kmarts left? I don't know. Let's see here. Good morning to you, Kurt and Kathy, Lori, Sherry. Yes, Sherry, another Sherry. We've got a bunch of Sherrys today. Happy birthday to Shannon. Tomorrow, actually, is her date. So we're wishing her a happy birthday in advance for Shannon Kindred. All right, today is National Sun-Kissed Citrus Day. It's also Self-Injury Awareness Day. Be aware of when you injure yourself. Okay? It's also National Minnesota Day. Minnesota. National Dress in Blue Day. That's the first Friday in March. It's National Dadgum That's Good Day. Dadgum That's Good Day. It's National Employee Appreciation Day. Here at Steve Shetler Media, we appreciate the one lone employee every day. Pat myself on the back. Let's see here. It's National Horse Protection Day, so make sure you protect your horse. It's National Fruit I'm not sure what that word is. Something about fruit. It's National Pig Day. It's National Peanut Butter Lovers Day. And it's also National Read Across America Day, Dr. Seuss Day. So that's a lot of days on the National Day calendar. Let's go ahead. You know, I made up some new intros and some new sound effects for portions of the day today. Let's do this. Things you need to know. All right. That's my new exciting intro for things you need to know. I kind of want to hear it again. It's so catchy. Makes you want to exercise. All right. Things you need to know. We'll start here in Iowa. Maybe we could have some Steve Shetler Media calisthenics to start your day. I don't know. Toe touches. Push-ups. Sit-ups. Things you need to know. Caitlin Clark, the top scorer in NCAA women's basketball history. As we mentioned right here on Steve Shetler Media yesterday, I made a post when I became aware of it. When Caitlin called me, she's like, Steve, breaking news. I'm going to the NBA. So I made a post about it. She didn't call me. She texted me. I mean, she didn't text me. Caitlin, leaving for the WNBA. You can't blame her. I mean, she is making a lot of money with her NIL deals. I'm assuming those deals with like State Farm and Hy-Vee will probably follow her into the WNBA, and she'll make the WNBA money on top of it. So she's going to make a lot of money. Good for her. She deserves it. Caitlin Clark, heck of a ball player. We have loved her here in Iowa for the last few years. So good luck to Caitlin. Let's see here. Virgil from Pro Wrestling. You know, do you remember, did you watch WWF wrestling back in the day? The $1 Million Man. Everybody's got a price. You had Virgil, the bodyguard, counting the $100 bills the whole time. And his vast, burly guy. Virgil died, unfortunately. Best known for being the bodyguard for Ted DiBiase. Virgil has passed away at the age of 61. Sad news. Let's see here. Did you know that there's going to be a Naked Gun movie coming out? This is a remake. Liam Neeson will be taking over the role of Leslie Nielsen in the new Naked Gun movie. Sounds like it probably will be horrible, as most remakes are. It'll hit theaters in July of next year. Why redo Naked Gun? I don't know. Bubby, good to see you in the comments. Nathan, Jackie, Sandy, really good to see you in the comments. Hopefully you're feeling better. And Dan, National Pig Day. Yes, we are celebrating the pigs. Let's see here. The IRS said it's issuing bigger tax refunds compared with a year ago. As of February 16th, the average tax refund is $3,207. That's about 2% higher than the same period a year ago. So keep that up, IRS. Country music news, Garth Brooks, Trisha Yearwood opening a honky-tonk bar in the heart of Nashville. And they have turned it into a Prime mini series on if you subscribe to Prime. It debuts March 7th, the day the bar is scheduled to open. So, you know, Garth Brooks, he is the master advertiser, hype man, promo guy. Look for that on Amazon Prime TV, March 7th. Let's see here. In a survey says, what does it take to be happy financially? Now, a new survey seems to indicate that boomers are old folks. The boomers and Gen Z say that they need about $125,000 a year to make that happen, to be happy financially. While millennials say they need to make $526,000 a year in order to be happy. There's going to be a lot of sad millennials running around. Let's go to Texas. The wildfire in the Texas Panhandle has grown to be the biggest ever in state history. It's already burned more area than the size of Rhode Island within Texas. So a big fire going on there. Let's go to video games. Electronic Arts, EA, has announced that it will be cutting around 5% of its employees, putting almost 700 people out of a job. It's also canceling some games and shutting down at least one development studio. So, EA Sports, it's in the game. Let's see here. There's a guy named Mattress Mac down in Texas. Jim Mattress Mac McInvale, the leader of the Houston Cougars fan club. He has announced that he has placed a $1 million bet on the team to win the men's NCAA tournament. Now, this guy is famous for making giant bets and winning big money for teams that he likes. So, again, Mattress Mac placing a $1 million bet on the Houston Cougars to win the NCAA tournament. I guess that doesn't really, we do a family pool for the NCAA tournament, the Shetler family pool, where we all fill out our brackets. And me and my brother-in-law are generally the only ones that really know anything about basketball. Everybody else is just kind of guessing. My sister kind of follows basketball a little bit, and it's usually my wife or my daughter or my mom that wins the whole thing. Makes no sense. Angers me, in fact. But it's nothing like the $1 million bet. We usually put in like $5 a piece. $5 compared to $1 million. Let's see here. And then Amazon Prime Day. When is Amazon Prime Day this year? A rumor has it that it's going to be rolling around in the second week of July. Insiders say there could be as many as 3 Prime Days. So you're going to get primed, you're going to get a little bit more primed, and then you will be fully primed by day 3. So look for that in July. Some food news. Let's see here. In some food news, shares of Weight Watchers stock has plunged. That has plunged 25% this week after Oprah announced that she's leaving their board and admitted that she is using some other type of weight-losing drug. Ozempic? Something like that. So now, actually, if you want to buy some Weight Watchers stock, now would be a good time to do it. Panera Bread, they are undergoing their largest menu transformation ever, shifting away from its attempt at dinner and refocusing on what it's best known for, sandwiches and salads. You'll see it arrive April 4th, the new menu. According to a new survey says, more than half of the average person's diet is made up of ultra-processed foods. And they're talking stuff like packaged baked goods, snacks, fizzy drinks, sugary cereals, and ready-to-eat or ready-to-go meals. So we're eating a bunch of stuff with chemicals in it, in other words. How about Wendy's? Now, we talked about this earlier this week. They say they were going to try out surge pricing. So basically, things would be more expensive during the busier times, less expensive during not so busy times. They say that's not happening. But, Burger King has jumped into the mix here, saying that they are going to be offering a free Whopper or Impossible Whopper with a purchase of $3 or more through today. They say the only thing surging at Burger King is our flame. So take advantage of some good deals at Burger King. And then finally, just in time for March Madness, Buffalo Wild Wings, they're always all over the place with their advertising during March Madness. Buffalo Wild Wings is introducing 2 new flavors to their menu, honey garlic and new honey sriracha wings. So if you like the wings and you like to watch basketball, look for those from Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's go ahead and do this. Today's Impossible question. When I recorded that several months ago, I did not intend for that to be a get me a drink break. But it sure has worked out that way. Helps me out. Impossible question. The most popular Google search for people age 55 and over is how to retire. What is it closely followed by? Again, the most popular Google search for people 55 and over is how to retire. What's number 2? What do you think? It actually is something here in Sigourney that people would also be Googling. The answer is how to play pickleball. We got pickleball courts just down the road here from Shetler Studios. So how to play pickleball. People a little bit on the older side, that's what they want to Google. How to retire and how to play pickleball. Let's see here. Let me get rid of some of my stuff here. My papers are sticky. They're sticky. They're sticking together. Let's go to the weird.
That is weird.
In some weird today, we've got a bunch of animal stories we'll try to get through here quick. Wildlife officials in North Carolina are reminding residents to be aware of bears after a large Bruin was caught on camera squeezing out from a home's small vent opening. The North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission posted a video to Facebook showing the large bear emerging from the small vent where it had apparently made its winter home. So look out for the bears in your vents in North Carolina. How about this for weird? The owner of an electronic road sign in the state of Washington said a message warning drivers about angry raccoons ahead. Again, just imagine that. You're driving down the road, you see one of those electric signs that says, angry raccoons ahead. That was the work of some pranksters. The sign displayed the perplexing message during the Wednesday morning commute. City Public Works Department officials said they had no information on the sign or of any angry raccoons. So that was just a joke. Snakes. We go from bears to raccoons to snakes. An Australian reptile catcher responded to a Queensland home in Australia where a resident found a venomous snake. A snake that was slithering. It was slithering across the clothes hanging in the closet. Tim Hudson, owner of Hudson Snake Catching, posted a video online showing the scene where he found a small-eyed snake, a highly venomous species, slithering across the clothes hanging in a closet. So look out for those venomous snakes slithering in Australia. California, in other news, Highway Patrol in California says it rescued a man who had been stranded on a cliffside for 2 days after he swerved to avoid some deer. In a Facebook post, the California Highway Patrol's Coastal Division said it received a request on Tuesday to search an area of coastline looking for this guy that was missing. They found him. Rescuers lowered a rope to the man to lift him to the highway 400 feet above where he was found. So that would be kind of scary. Crashing your car basically on a cliff and being stuck there for 2 days. And then finally, in some weird news, a 100-year-old Oklahoma woman is celebrating just her 25th birthday yesterday after being born on Leap Day back in 1924. Mary Forsyth, recognized by the how do you say this word? Centenarians of Oklahoma and the city of Sand Springs. They issued a proclamation marking her 100th birthday. But of course, when it falls on a leap year, you only really celebrate it every 4 years. So 25 or 100. We'll let Mary Forsyth decide for herself. Let's go to the files of law and disorder. In some disorder, let's go to Idaho. On Wednesday, Idaho attempted to carry out its first execution in almost 12 years. Didn't go so smoothly. Prison officials say they attempted to execute 73-year-old serial killer Thomas Eugene Creech by lethal injection. They abandoned the efforts after almost an hour because the medical team was unable to establish an IV line. So we'll see if that happens in the near future. Hey, let's go ahead and let's see here. I want to bring this up. We're going to go ahead and do some good news here on the morning wake up.
Good news.
Good news.
Good news.
Well, the good news is the bad news don't get the final say.
All right, and some good news, which is brought to us by Dr. Stacy Freeze at Lifetime Dental. She's jumping on board to help us out with some good news today. And you can see, born here, raised here, committed to being here for you. Dr. Stacy Freeze and staff proudly serving Sigourney and the surrounding area for the past 10 years. Call at 641-622-2669. Accepting new patients, Dr. Stacy Freeze with Lifetime Dental Solutions. They bring us our good news here on Steve Shetler Media, the morning wake up. And in our good news, we're going to stay right here in Iowa as Hope Tompkins lost almost everything in a tornado that destroyed her home right here in Iowa back in 2008. Let's see here. She lost most of her possessions. One that particularly stung was a photo of her grandparents on their wedding day, which was back in 1942, which Tompkins had proudly displayed in her living room. So a tornado struck the home, took a lot of things away, including that photo. But the cool thing is, nearly 16 years later, she got it back in what felt like an enormous stroke of luck. Tompkins was scrolling through Facebook in January, just a couple of months ago, when she stumbled upon a post from the city of Parkersburg in which her beloved grandparents' photo was featured. Now, the post read, "Does anyone recognize this couple?" One of the many unclaimed tornado items from over the years. Now, she immediately called the city to let them know the photo belonged to her. Tompkins plans to have the photo, which is a little worse for wear, after traveling space and time through a tornado. She's going to plan to have it restored and to make several copies to ensure that this doesn't happen again. She says, quote, "Don't give up hope of finding treasures. It might be 15 to 20 years, but somewhere down the line, it could happen to you too." So that is our good news. Once again, that's that segment now brought to us by Dr. Stacy Freeze at Lifetime Dental in Sigourney. And then let's wrap up today. Let's do some
Duh.
In some duh today, an event planner in Russia. An event planner says he has been forced to leave Sri Lanka after he tried to plan an ill-advised white party. Led to the Sri Lankan officials telling Russian tourists they must go too, though it seems that the decision may not stick. The BBC reports a man using the now inactive Instagram handle called Geo_ecstatic, again, Geo_ecstatic, announced a party for people with the event's ad specifying a white dress code, but also including the phrase face control white. I think they're implying that white people were supposed to be at this party, which was read again as restricting the event to white people only. The party, which was to take place in a lounge in the southern coastal town in Sri Lanka, was canceled. Now, he and the other party planners were said to be Russian, with a local business leader telling the BBC many Russians have moved to this part of Sri Lanka since the country's invasion of Ukraine. And Sri Lankan officials targeted all Russian tourists in response. They were saying, "Get out of here," by March 7th. So I don't know. A white people party. Can't have a white person party in Sri Lanka, Russia. That is your moment of duh.
Duh. Duh.
That is your morning wake up here on Steve Shetler Media. Again, we thank Eddie and the crew at Home Plate Sports Cards for bringing us our morning wake up. Oh, I'm looking in the background. I'm looking in the background right now, and all I see is this big, fluffy ball of a dog that's laying on my couch in the background. Hi, Stella. How you doing, Stella? Good to see you. You guys actually aren't seeing that. I'm looking at there. Now you're seeing it. I was looking at it in the screen that you can't see. Now you can see Stella. Yes, the old morning eyeball scratch going on. Good old Stella hanging out in the background on my couch here in Shetler Studios. Stella doesn't like to get too far away from me. Let's take a look at our forecast. It's brought to us by the Garden Gate. I know you'd probably rather look at Stella. She's cute. Partly sunny today, breezy, a little bit breezy, high of 53. The whole weekend going to be breezy but warmer and sunny with a high of 66 Saturday, 77 on Sunday. All right, that does it for the morning wake up here on Steve Shetler Media. There's one here. If you want to look at Stella again. Good morning, Stella. All right, that'll do it for our morning wake up here on Steve Shetler Media. Again, later on today, we will be going to Barn Wired live for our Iowa Music Showcase with Scott Kirkhart from 11:30 to noon. Also, later on today, we've got the In Remembrance of video at 8, Successful Farming at 5:30. We'll have the Tassel Ridge Winery video at about 5. And just a reminder, no sports section tomorrow. We'll get back to that next Saturday here on Steve Shetler Media. All right, you guys have a great Friday. Otherwise, we'll see you back here Monday at 7 a.m.